Hey, what's up everybody? BDF44 coming at you with another video. Alright, so it's the day after the Lakers lost a game against the Phoenix Suns, but everybody is pretty much very good. We're all feeling good about being Laker fans this morning, despite the loss. It was a lot of things to take from that game that we can be encouraged by. If ever there was a moral victory, I guess you can say this is that. Went into Phoenix, hostile environment. They had a couple of their very best players shooting the ball extraordinarily well in ways that they probably ain't gonna shoot ever again, Mikal Bridges. And you know, it was one of those situations where you just appreciate that the Lakers only lost by 10 points despite having a lot going up against them, including a bunch of officiating questionable stuff there. Plays that we know were getting called on one side weren't getting called on the other. So we were going up against a lot. You know, we saw a situation where we felt our chemistry and our team probably came together in a major way. You know, when you think about moments that make guys feel like they can believe in one another, I think we got in a long way with that situation that took place with Ayton and Austin Reeves. When Patrick Beverley pushed DeAndre Ayton over Austin Reeves as he was standing over him unnecessarily. I don't know what Ayton was thinking, but he got what was coming his way, and I supported it 130%. I could not have been more proud of how Patrick Beverley approached the situation based on his positioning as a guard on our team that was struggling. Knowing our schedule coming up, 2 games against San Antonio Spurs that we could certainly use him absent for in order to get Schroeder back into the mix and get his rhythm going. And LeBron James, of course, as well, will be on the floor looking for his rhythm. So it's going to be addition by subtraction, having Patrick Beverley out of those games for the minutes. If he gets suspended, we risk that. So it's one of those situations where it's like it's a perfect storm. We're down by points in that situation, and the Suns were just being disrespectful, man. I don't know how else to call it. I don't know what Austin Reeves may have done to prompt that type of energy coming his way, but as far as I could see, Ayton shouldn't have been the one doing none of that. Now, if he and Booker had been pushing around, shoving around, maybe they had a few plays, but Ayton, you're a center. What is your issue with Austin Reeves? Did he give you an elbow or a groin earlier? Why are you trying to step over this man as he's laid out trying to kind of get up? You're 7 foot tall, bro. You know what I mean? So, of course, his teammates are going to see that as a threatening situation and feel disrespected by it, of course. And you knew that. So, I think this is one of those situations where DeAndre Ayton will look back on it in the future and agree that he was deserving of being pushed. I've been in situations where I got socked in the eye right here. It was a specific situation where I had run my mouth. I was drunk and high, and I was just getting in somebody's face. I don't even know what I was thinking or what I was talking about or why my energy was so bad, and I'm pretty sure that person didn't deserve it. I ended up getting sucker punched by somebody else who was watching the situation from the side. Now, was I pleased by that? No. Did I want to fight that person who did that? Yeah. But when I look back on it, I realize that person probably saved my life. Because if I would have walked away from that situation and got away with it scot-free with my chest held high, I probably wouldn't think I could continue doing that. Whatever it was that prompted me to be that way, getting in people's face, a stranger I didn't even know, barking at them, acting like I was going to beat them up, but not actually swinging. Just being weak and being low frequency and young in my thinking. And I needed my head knocked, smoothed off my shoulders to wake me up and help me understand why that energy is unacceptable, unbecoming, and ultimately not going to give off the type of respect that I'm ultimately thinking it's going to put off. And nobody think you strong or hard for that. It's unnecessary. And you need to be reminded of why that energy is unnecessary. So I felt like Ayton was going to get a little bit of that in that situation. Simple and plain. Sometimes we do things where we just need discipline in life. And grown men, sometimes they act like children, act like little boys on a basketball court, and need to be punched in their chest. And that's exactly what that was. You know what I mean? I understand where Devin Booker's coming from based on the fact that he's Chris Paul's teammate, and this happened to Chris Paul by this same dude getting pushed in the back. I see where Devin Booker was coming from. You know, I want you to push. Why don't you push somebody in the chest? Okay, I hear you. We'll catch you in the chest next time. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why you want to act like that's going to be your problem. It ain't going to be a problem. If you're going to stand over our guy, we'll push you in the chest, the back, the side, the head, the leg, whatever you need to be pushed in, you get pushed in. Because at the end of the day, we're going to protect our players, and that's what we're going to stand by. So I understand that situation with Chris Paul, you know, a lot of people are very unclear as to what prompted Patrick Beverley to do that. I am one of them. So I don't know what caused that, and that's an isolated situation, and Patrick Beverley paid for that. But now with the Lakers, we encourage what it is he did in this situation. Absolutely different situation. And I think it doesn't happen if Ayton shows solid sportsmanship. Or at the very least, just doesn't try to step over a grown man when he's trying to get up. What do you think you, Allen Iverson, bro? You ain't Allen Iverson. You think he Ty Lue? You are definitely not Allen Iverson. He's not Ty Lue. You definitely ain't Iverson, though. I tell you that right now. And this ain't the finals, and you wasn't balling like that. Which was another thing. It's like I could see if he was putting up the numbers Anthony Davis was putting up. Even then, it would be whack for AD to do that. But the point is, it's like, okay, you've been dominating these dudes. Dare they do anything? You can step over whoever you want because you got 5 blocks, 5 steals, 21 rebounds, and you're dominating the floor, and I wish anybody would. Right? But at that point, I think Ayton had like 8 points. He was the one guarding AD. And I'd imagine that's probably part of why he was acting like a bad sportsman. Because he was getting torched. And so, you know, I'm looking at the situation. I'm like, all right. Ayton's acting like a child. That's all it was. He was acting like a little child. He saw somebody he could step over in a situation where he felt like nobody was going to get up and do nothing. You know what I mean? So like a little boy who ain't been given a spanking, who's in need of that spanking, he going to do something that would prompt somebody to give him that spanking. And it came his way. It's exactly what it was. You know what I mean? And if he's offended by that, play better. You know what I'm saying? Play better so people will respect you better. You know, do better so people will respect you better. That's what it really comes down to. Like I said, because if he was the one with AD's numbers, I'd have a different opinion about what it is he wants to do on the court and all of that. I really would. Because at the end of the day, it's basketball. You know what I mean? But, you know, when Kobe Bryant's putting up 81 points, if he wants to fight somebody on the court, I'm not going to say nothing. Because he's balling. I wish they would. Like, if you don't like what he's up to, make him look bad by beating him on the court. And so I ain't seeing that from Ayton. I saw Ayton win the game, but it was because Mikal Bridges was balling out. It was because, you know, Booker was balling out. It was because the other guys, Washington was balling out. It don't come to Ayton was doing that. Ayton was rebounding. Not enough, apparently, since AD had 21 of them. So, you know, I'm not going to sit up here and say I lost respect for DeAndre Ayton. DeAndre Ayton's a young person. And a young person sometimes needs discipline so they can instill his respect in themselves and become a better professional. That's what he got last night if he was able to read it properly. It was good for him. Because that energy was unnecessary. The only thing you're asking for in that situation is to get knocked out. I promise you that's the only thing you're asking for in that situation. You're not doing anything else in the situation. I promise. You know what I'm saying? Austin Reeves wasn't trying to pull on your leg. Austin Reeves hadn't called you no kind of crazy names or said anything disrespectful to you. It wasn't nothing going on in the play that had you involved in the scrum. Devin Booker wasn't the one who was being hovered over as to what you need to do something to Austin Reeves as an enforcer. There was nothing about that at all that prompted him to step 3 steps forward and let his feet connect with Austin Reeves' body. Absolutely not. He needed to be leveled. That's it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not mad at Anthony Davis for not leveling him. I've heard this one too. Like, Anthony Davis right there, why didn't he do it? Because it's chess, not checkers. And we're trying to help ourselves. We're literally trying to help ourselves. That's a mistake a lot of people make. You're going to crash out in situations. Why? You can accomplish the same thing by taking a different avenue. You know, it's the same thing I said about Kyrie Irving in an entirely parallel situation. Why is he going to rebel against the 6 things they're asking him to do? Just do the 6 things and bring a lawyer with you. Do the things that help yourself. Because they want you to hurt yourself while you're trying to rebel against what they're doing. That's not how you do it. You play chess. Just like they play chess. And that's how you win. So in this situation, it's just like, nah, just keep your calm, Anthony Davis. Like I said, in regards to LeBron James, stay on the sideline. I watch LeBron James' body language closely. Calm and collected. Make sure his feet was behind the line. You know what I'm saying? These are the type of things I need him to do. This is how you stay intellectually competitive. Remember when I was talking about how you stay smart in your competition? This is how you beat the other team. By doing things like this. Right? While everybody's expecting you to go like, nah, that rah is just going to hurt me. I might as well start punching myself like this is Fight Club or something. We ain't trying to hurt ourselves. We're trying to help ourselves. So the enforcer we pay to do the enforcer things needs to do his job, right? In that situation, he pushed Ayton on the ground. And then from there, what Anthony Davis is supposed to do is back Patrick Beverley. You know what I'm saying? As the big body who can actually match up against Ayton if it really goes down. That's all his job is. Just like when Isaiah Stewart was coming at LeBron James. He had to get through 100 people and DeAndre Jordan, who was ready to lock him out as soon as he came at him. He was going to have to get through DeAndre Jordan. Not because DeAndre Jordan is toughest-minded guy or because DeAndre Jordan spent his childhood beating up people. No, but because he's a 7-footer and that's his job on the team. And if Isaiah Stewart's going to get past anybody, he's going to get past the biggest person. That's how that works. And it's self-defense. The NBA can't suspend you for 100 games because you're protecting your teammates and ain't nobody going to get hurt if they don't come at you. See what I'm saying? And that's the role Anthony Davis must play in that scrum. He ain't supposed to be doing nothing but protecting Patrick Beverley as he does his job in enforcing and laying the law. Simple and plain. And I thought Anthony Davis did a good enough job of that right there. All you got to do is walk forward and make sure that when Ayton jumps up, he has a bigger person in front of him instead of Patrick Beverley who pushed him. That's it. Did exactly what he was supposed to do. Didn't get himself suspended, stayed on the play, didn't break his wrist or hurt that wrist that had been hurt earlier in the game, knocking out somebody or anything. He just stayed in the scrum and made sure Patrick Beverley had a big body to protect him. That's it. It's the only job. That's exactly what I want him to do as a fan. I don't want him to grab his nuts and, start picking people up, throwing people around and get suspended for 15 games, turn into a Malice and Palace, and our season is over. We'll improve then. We'll improve nothing. Hell no. It's a whole nother way to handle that. And we handle it properly, and Anthony Davis will be playing against San Antonio if everything's good with the rest. It ain't going to have nothing to do with the scrum, and that's the most important thing. Patrick Beverley gets suspended, well, I think we'll live. And I think he knew that when he did it, and I don't think he would have did it if he had a different role with the team. And that's why I say be intellectual in your enforcing of what it is that you do. I thought he picked a good time to do it. I thought he realized himself to be the right person to do it. And I thought everybody else recognized themselves to be the people that shouldn't do it. And I thought that's exactly how you play the chess game. That is the situation. You know what I'm saying? Based on the rules. Based on the rules. If the NBA officiated these situations differently and ref this thing like the NFL, then I say Anthony Davis needs to be pushing people before Patrick Beverley even gets there. You know what I'm saying? Because I know Anthony Davis ain't going to cost himself nothing if he does so. And then it's just about whether or not Anthony Davis had heart. You know what I mean? Whether or not Anthony Davis is going to have the balls to step up. But that ain't what's going on there. Anthony Davis having the balls was not what should have been on display. Anthony Davis having discernment as a chess piece, as a means of playing chess, is what will help the Lakers. You got to remember why you're there. If you're there to fight, then you're obviously not doing what you're supposed to be doing. We ain't there to fight. We're here to win a basketball game. You know what I mean? We're not here to discipline little boys. We're here to protect our teammates. You know what I'm saying? So if dudes want to act like little boys, they can do it on their own time. But if they're going to inflict that against our teammates, they're going to find themselves on the ground. I don't see no problem with that. As a Laker fan, that's what it should be. You know what I mean? Every night. Any night. You know what I mean? Every night. If anybody does that to our teammate, they should find themselves in that circumstance. On the ground, with teammates around them prepared to defend. That's it. Patrick Beverley should be the one doing it too. If not him, then Damian Jones. You feel me? Those are the guys. Because we know that if something happens, as to which, at the end of the day, we can afford to lose those guys. You know what I mean? And there's strength in that. If you're one of those players, you got to know that's your role. You know, Patrick Beverley going 0 for 2, ain't really doing nothing. Bro, this is when you make your money. This is when you say, hey, that's why we need him. Because otherwise, we don't need you. And he knows that too, which is why I respected what he did. So it's like, look, if I'm Damian Jones, I'm not going out there looking to push and punk people. But I'm making myself available in that regard as a big body that Anthony Davis shouldn't have to push nobody around for. You feel me? Put it like this. And I encourage everybody to stay on the bench in scrums. But in circumstances like that, if someone must fly off the bench, it got to be the Damian Jones guy. It got to be the Patrick Beverley. You feel me? Because you can afford for him to miss 10 games, 15 games, and it ain't going to hurt the team. But it helped the team, as a matter of fact, if he's doing what he's supposed to do and protecting somebody. So these are the type of things you got to designate people to do that. And you got to, the fans got to be smart enough to allow their moments to be the way they're supposed to be. And I don't look at this situation the same way I look at that Swaggy P situation. Y'all remember that? When Swaggy P was down there, we were playing against the Suns and the Morris twins, who one of them ended up being a champion with us later on, was on the floor and ended up having a scrum with Matt Barnes. No, not Matt Barnes. It was as I said, Swaggy P, and nobody came to his defense, and we all got on the team about that. Like, why was it only one guy there? I don't remember who it was, but it was only one guy, maybe Lonzo Ball or something, who was actually kind of in the mix. Everybody else was just kind of standing there watching their teammate. And the Laker fans just really, really didn't respect that at all. You know what I'm saying? We didn't respect that at all. We felt that Swaggy P should have had somebody come to his defense. He had both the Morris twins cornering him and another son, and they was all over him, and the Lakers as a team were just kind of standing back like, I don't know if we should. At that moment, we were like, nah, Laker relation, dude, nah. We prefer this. This is what we want to see when somebody stands over our teammate. This is what we want to see when people are surrounding our teammate. We want to see teammates coming up, protecting them. Right or wrong, we'll figure it out later. But make sure that we are protected. Make sure our jersey ain't on the ground, and make sure ain't nobody punking us and making us anything less than a man, like AD said. None of that. So for me, Patrick Beverley, you know what I'm saying? I feel like, you know, in a perfect world, he shouldn't have to pay his fine. You know, the team should swallow that as a whole. Everybody should be chipping in to make sure Patrick Beverley don't have to pay that. Because at the end of the day, he did a team thing. He did a team thing. As I tried to best describe, it was Anthony Davis who he was representing when he pushed AD on the ground. It was Austin Reeves who he was protecting when he pushed him on the ground. Because you best believe AD would much rather, or at least he's supposed to much rather, be the guy who pushed AD to Ayton on the ground. You best believe AD would much rather be the person to take Ayton out of that situation, but it just hurts us to no end. If he gets suspended, or if he breaks a hand, or if anything like that happens and he's a part of it. You know what I mean? So that's what it's about, man. That's what it's about. I just wanted to continue to talk about that, because I think most Laker fans are looking at it the right way. But I think it may be a few people who are looking at it saying, why didn't AD do more? Why didn't this? Why didn't that? And they just need to understand the concept of not hurting yourself while you're trying to attack the enemy. You know what I'm saying? If you're going to give the enemy the ammo to beat you, believe you me, he's going to do that. So we always talk about that, and that doesn't end with just conventional stuff. So that's what we want to say, man. Now, continuing to talk, you know, I was listening to DTLF, Dan, the Lakers fan. He was saying he doesn't really want to talk about trades anymore because it doesn't seem like it makes any sense. Been talking about it all summer, and nothing has happened. I agree. And our asset class is very different. So when you start talking about the type of trades you want to make, you now enjoy the luxury of being able to say the things that you have cost more than they did when you were trying to move them in the summertime. So all them trades that we were trying to make, I hope everybody's updated what those trades should be in their minds based on how these players are playing. You know, I read somewhere that in the summertime we were offering a first-round pick and Russell Westbrook for Doug McDermott and Josh Richardson. Now, me personally, I don't know how that could be looked at as a positive trade even then. But the point is doing that now is very much different in terms of you are really pushing yourself into a space where you're getting railroaded bad for making that trade right now. It's to which Russell Westbrook was going to cost you a first-round pick to get rid of. And maybe those two players look like decent pieces given the fact that we didn't have shooting, but Russell Westbrook's worth like 3 times that, to be honest with you, or at least 2 times that based on how he's been playing. So, you know, these are the type of things. And you look at Anthony Davis, we're talking about trading him. The price tag I was going to put on Anthony Davis 2 weeks ago, man, that's damn near quadrupled. Damn near. Just based on how well he's playing. Now, the only thing I have to say in regards to Anthony Davis, it's the same thing I've been saying. I'm never going to change my tune. I think the only way to intelligently, if that's a word, trade a player like Anthony Davis is to do it when he's playing like he's playing right now. And I think that's the thing that we need to, you know, just kind of accept, I guess, as we move forward and whatever happens. Because it's not to say that I think we're going to trade Anthony Davis. I don't think most GMs think this way at all. I just think it's the right way to think. When someone that you have struggled with to stay healthy finally starts playing their very best basketball, that is when you're going to get the very most for them. But you have to psych yourself into understanding that when they're playing well. Because you best believe you're going to want to trade them when they're playing bad or when they're hurt. You know what I'm saying? Everybody wants to get rid of something that's bad. Everybody want to keep something that's good. But you have to make the decision at some point to let go of something that's not right for you. And when it starts playing well, that's when you have to do it to get the most out of it. So as I sit here and I watch Anthony Davis putting up 5 blocks and 5 assists and 5 steals, I can't promise you that if the New York Knicks offer me 7 picks that he ain't going to be a Knick today. Because I would trade him for the right price. Now, mind you, that price has to be right. I'm not trading for the price I would have gave you 2 weeks ago. It's not. That's not happening. But if you give me something that gives me the faith that I have a full future ahead for trading this guy, I'm still doing it. You know why? Because I know how injury prone he actually is. And I'm not a prisoner of the moment when he's playing well. Because when he gets hurt, I've been in too many situations in my life at 38 years of age where I've been down the road that everybody's going to go down, where they sell high and, you know, sell low and buy high on everybody. And that's how you continue to stay bad. It's like, okay, man, I can't wait to get rid of Anthony Davis. He's giving me 15 points and three rebounds. I can't do nothing with him. Well, yeah, but then when you trade him, at that price, you can only get a 1 first-round pick and maybe a nice little player for him. Right now, you can get the world and a half for the man. A world and a half. A week from now, when he twists his ankle again, what you going to be able to get for him? Maybe a first-round pick and a player. It's like, are we inevitably only going to get a first-round pick for a player for this guy? Because every time he plays well, we get excited and don't want to let go of him. It's not about how he's playing that determines why he shouldn't be here. He shouldn't be here because of how the team's constructed. It's just like Russell Westbrook. It ain't about how he's playing. It's about the fact that we're leaning on 3 bodies and the rest of our team is not very talented, and because of it, we are capped off at a level lower than championship. And so now your mind can change to say, okay, well, I want to build around Anthony Davis instead then. Well, you have to move on from LeBron James. And guess what? You can't do that this season. This season? No, you got to go through the risk of Anthony Davis and LeBron James possibly getting hurt or not getting hurt or whatever you're teetering on until you can get to a space where you can execute trading LeBron James for that stability. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, for me, AD can put up 50 and 25 for the rest of the season. But if we're only leaning on 3 bodies, we're 1 injury away from not being good enough to do what it is that we're aiming to do. And if he's playing that high, that just means that our expectations are going to drop from a very high place to a very low place. That's all that means. That's why I would never want to lean on 3 players no matter what the circumstance is, because you're 1 injury away from it all being completely nothing. And that is a very hard thing to swallow when you're playing that well, when you're dominating that well, and then all of a sudden 1 player's removed and you can't beat nobody. You see what I'm saying? That is a dynamic that we continue to sign up for so long as we build this way. But here's the screwy part about it even worse. Because you build this way, you're putting more pressure on those players. And who are those players? Injury-prone players. So where are we? We're in a space where the injury-prone player is at his highest level or getting ready to reach his highest level once he starts scoring 50 and 57 points, which I know is coming. When he gets to that level, it's going to be impossible to trade him. But if you decide to do so, you get all the picks in the world, all the players in the world in the future that makes you one of the best teams going forward. Just for moving him. That's to which he's going to go somewhere, probably get hurt. You cashed out, baby. You cashed out. Like I said, I pay attention to stocks. And so I know that these ebbs and flows are real. And we have been through too many times. Even yesterday, god dang it, yesterday, when the man went down with the injury with the rest. We were sitting there like it's over. It's absolutely over. He's been on the floor for a minute now. It's over. And you realize it didn't have to be over. Because I could have traded him yesterday for 6 picks. Here we are today. He's healthy. We can trade him for 6 picks. Now, I'm with everybody conventionally, especially if I was a little kid. I don't want to trade a player playing well. We keep him. Maybe we can win a championship if LeBron James plays great. Hey, all of that is possible. I'm not saying that's not a variable. There's just too many other variables where the tendencies of these guys getting hurt just continue to compound. That variable shown there. I see it everywhere in my head as it pertains to the things impossible. You got that a lot more times than you got us winning a championship, believe me. And I love the fact that AD plays through pain, man. I think he deals with it. I think he's doing the opposite of what Kawhi is doing. He sees the pain, he's feeling the pain, he's frustrated with it. It's on his mind, and he continues to run. I love the perseverance. I just can't build this way around him. Cannot. Not around a 38-year-old LeBron James just making absolute max money. And Anthony Davis, who needs more than what it is we can provide based on the asset class that we have. I wouldn't want to be the GM that trades Anthony Davis when he's playing well. But I do want to be the GM that trades Anthony Davis when he's playing well right before he gets hurt. I want to be that guy. The one who cashed out, who just knew better and did better, and then when it went south, was not on the train when it happened. I want to be that guy. I'd rather be that guy. I promise you I'd rather be that guy, y'all. Because I've been the other guy too many times in this life in different ways. It sucks being that other guy, I'm telling you. It really does. You got to know when to fold them, know when to sell high, know when you have something that's doing great sometimes and not other times, and when it's time, when the clock says, yo, they're playing great. They're playing great. I know we're not going to do it. I'm not telling people to say, yo, this is what you need to be thinking or pushing for. The Lakers ain't going to do this. But I think a great organization, a very great organization, is doing that. They're doing that, and then they got 7 or 8 moves that they're going to be able to parlay from that move that's going to make them as good as they are right now with the asset class that they're lacking, probably within 3 years. And that's the problem with this regime. They don't have all that in their head. They don't. That's why they're not going to do that. If they trade Anthony Davis, I believe they won't have no plan in place after they get those picks and probably just kind of feel like they have let off a better opportunity to win a championship, as opposed to creating an opportunity to create a dynasty like I would see. It's all about the creativity of who you have in place and what they believe they can do for you when they get a blank canvas. And I want an artist of a GM. I mean, I want somebody who can put together the best possible Golden State-ish game-changing environmental force of basketball. And it may take 7 years, 8 years to put together something that dynamic. But if you do things the right way and you start putting those tendencies in place right now, by the time that comes around, you will have a culture that will welcome so much good. Great players will want to be a part of that culture, just like we talk about the Heat and various different teams, the San Antonio Spurs of the previous era. You just want to be a part of this stuff because you know you're going to win if you go there. I think the way that the Lakers have been moving and operating puts them in a position to either, as I said earlier, on things going completely left if 1 or 2 things fall apart. And I just think there's a better way to build. It's a better way to build. And then the sooner we start implementing those practices, the sooner we'll have that foundation. But the Lakers are scared. They're hard-headed. They believe in the wrong stuff. They trust the wrong people, like we said last night. And as a result, we get the results that come with that. And the fans are forced to pay for it. So, as I say 1.5 million times, I just want the Lakers to make good organizational decisions. And when it comes to that of Anthony Davis, the only move to make is to trade him when he's playing absolutely great. Because you best believe they're going to want to trade him when he's playing absolutely trash. And we don't have to wait till then to do what it is that we should have done right now. I'm telling you. And this is, again, I have to reiterate this because I think people may not necessarily understand where I'm coming from. It's not because I don't believe in the way that Anthony Davis is playing right now. It doesn't mean that I don't see a variable where he continues this and ends up winning MVP. I see that variable. But I see the one where he gets hurt more times. You know what I'm saying? Odds. I see a variable where he gets hurt way more times than I see a variable where we continue to see him play at this level and then incorporate LeBron back into this thing and then keep on pushing past the Western Conference and stay healthy even further after that. Trade these pieces for pieces that are going to make us even better, and then have those pieces stay healthy, mesh, and time for us to win a championship, and then furthermore run into the field that we should be able to beat based on what I do not know. And somehow win the championship. It's just a lot of different things that got to fall into place that don't look really good. Don't have many variables where that looks like possibility that's going to happen. But we're leaning on it like we see a million variables there. And I'm telling you, that's just not what's there to see. Lakers would be much better to give themselves a blank canvas as to which you have a trillion variables to build something good. Just got to have the faith you can do it, man. Just got to have the faith in the right people in place to do those things. And I don't think that the Los Angeles Lakers as a brand can't attract the very best. Because if I'm somebody who wants to get somewhere else good at what I do, I want to turn the Lakers around because it's the freaking Lakers. It's not like we're harboring the Suns or some other team that people, you know, it's like whatever. No, you turn the Lakers around, you're living the dream. Why do you think LeBron James came here in the first place? It's the thing to want. Just got to know who you are. So that's what I got to say, man. I think that's the gist of the thought there. My Lakers are a very, very, very advantageous franchise. It doesn't appear to understand all the advantages that it has from its positioning. It's time to start being secure in that space and cutting off anything that would otherwise keep people thinking that they can, just like we said in regards to the Patrick Beverley thing, step all over us. It's parallel for something else. As a franchise, we shouldn't have people thinking they can step over us like they're Ty Lue or something. No, they can't. You can't step up. We're not Ty Lue, man. As I keep saying, we're not Ty Lue. As a franchise, you're not going to be able to lowball us for everything we have, or tell us the pieces we have don't matter like y'all did all summer long. Tell us the pieces we have don't hold value and that we need to give you this and that for these pieces. Look at where Russell Westbrook is and listen to what they told us all summer long about what we needed to do in regards to him. You know what I'm saying? Now look back on different teams that they talked about. We talked about T.J. Warren. Remember T.J. Warren? T.J. Warren's coming in. He got changed the net. T.J. Warren, he ain't played one game this season. And that was one of the guys that were saying in comparison to the Lakers, the Lakers bench is trash, but when you get T.J. Warren on the team, you know, he can roof. So I'm saying, listen to those people. The Clippers are really good. The Clippers are championship. All I'm saying is listening to those folks as an organization will have you doing things that don't benefit you as an organization. And I think we've been busy doing that, listening to people that don't have our best interest in mind, who don't evaluate talent very well, telling us to make moves. No, enough. So that's what I want to see us do. Things that help us continue to trust in this coach, because he's pushing the right buttons to get the most out of this team. And as they are appearing to improve, we realize how much more he can do with so much more. You know, we got to put him in a position to have the foundation to have more talent so we can do some good things, man. And look, thank God we figured out that Anthony Davis is actually Anthony Davis. I mean, let's just be real. The person that we traded for is not the person that we have now. This is an entirely different player than the guy that showed up and has been here ever since. I don't know who just stepped into Anthony Davis' body over the last 5 games, but I'm happy he's arrived because that ain't the Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis, we know, 20 points, 7 boards, he gives you 2 blocks, you know, he gets you steals, but 18% from field. Like, he's missing every jump shot. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the Anthony Davis that we've learned to grow and appreciate. And then when he's not playing like that, he's hurt. So it's like, of course we want this guy out of here. But now he's averaging numbers that are comparable to the Anthony Davis that played for New Orleans. And it's like, oh, so this is who we traded for. And so this is why we gave up so much Garland and B.I. and Lonzo healthy and Josh Hart and all these different players. So this is how and why that is the case, because this guy actually does equate to those guys combined when he's at his absolute best. Yeah, them dudes are combining up better than him when he's playing like this. But that's not ever who we've seen until now. So what I'm saying is, now that he's turned into this guy, how long does he stay this way? And am I supposed to forget that I've had these struggles for the last couple of years when he's playing like this? Or not to expect those troubles to come back? I don't know, man. I'm just sitting here very much skeptical about this. and very much intent on making everybody as skeptical as I am, because I just know better. And we're going to get blindsided by a knee, an elbow, a shoulder, or something that's going to keep him out for 20 games. And we will remember this video. We will remember it. I told y'all. My name is BDF44. I thank you all for watching. I'm out.